I just came across a video from Addison here on YouTube where he was showing how to create an image gallery using GenerateBlocks and ACF. Now, I didn't even know this was possible, and I've always struggled when I needed some kind of gallery since GenerateBlocks doesn't have any kind of gallery block. This is actually really cool, and I wanted to show you how to set it up with a huge hat tip for Addison for showing me the way. In his video, he was actually using the image gallery inside of a custom post type, but what I actually need for my use case is an image gallery that I can use anywhere on the website. So if you've ever needed to create an image gallery inside GenerateBlocks, then stick around and let's get started. So I got this demo site here, and essentially what I'd like to do is create an area to put all of my different galleries in so I can have one place to manage those galleries and then be able to put them onto any page or post I want by just looping them in. So I think the best way to do this is by creating an ACF Options page. So we're going to go here under ACF and to Options Pages, and then we're going to go ahead and add new. And I'll just call this Photo Gallery, and that's going to give us the slug of Photo Gallery. That's all the configuration we need to do, so we'll go ahead and hit Save Changes. And now we can see down here we have a new option here for Photo Gallery. If I click into it, I don't have anything set up for it yet, so we're going to have to create some field groups. So I'm just going to go here under ACF and then Field Groups. Now here's where you can create all your different galleries. On this website, I happen to have a bunch of pictures of bicycles. So the first gallery I'm going to create is my bicycle photo gallery. So I'm going to call it Bike Photo Gallery. And then we'll go down here and the field type we're going to choose is Gallery. Now we need to give this a label, so I'll just call it Bike Photo Gallery. And when we tab through here to go ahead and give it a field name. Now, usually when we create any kind of image field here inside of ACF, we need to return the image ID or the image URL. In this case, we actually need to go ahead and return the image array. So make sure you leave it on this image array option, which is the default in here. Now we just need to scroll down to the bottom where we're looking at the location rules. And here we're going to pull down this drop down menu and we're going to make sure we select our options page is equal to photo gallery. So once we have that set up, we can go ahead and hit Save Changes. And now if we go back into our photo gallery here, we can see we have our bike photo gallery. This is a place where we can manage to add all the different photos for our gallery. So I'm just going to go ahead and go in here into my media library, and I'm going to select all the images that have bicycles in them and go ahead and press select. You can see they've all been added in here. And now we'll go ahead and hit update. Now we could add this gallery anywhere on our website. For demonstration purposes, I'm just going to do a new page here. We'll just call this Bike Gallery. But the benefit of putting this inside the options page is we can query this in anywhere on the website, any post, page, custom post type, whatever you want. So we'll just set this up here with a simple container. I'm going to add a section here with our default padding, and we'll go in here and put an inner container. Now I'll go ahead and pop open this list view here just so we can see everything that we're working with. And inside of here, what we're going to use is a query loop. So we'll choose that query block from GenerateBlocks, and then we can start out blank. Now I'm going to go ahead and open up back in the back end here. I want to go into ACF, Field Groups, go into our bike photo gallery, and I want to make sure I have this name here that's used for our field name, which is bike_photo_gallery. It's going to be important that we know that so we're querying the right thing. So back in here inside of our page with our query selected, I'll go to the settings panel over here, and under the query type, I'm going to change this to option since we're querying an option page. Now here inside that meta key, that's where I need to type in this field name. If we go ahead and click it here, that will copy it to our clipboard. We can go back in here and paste it in. Now you do see the option here inside this dropdown. In fact, if I just clear this out and use the dropdown, you can see here's one I was playing with earlier in my testing, but here's the bike photo gallery that we created. If we go ahead and select that, we for some reason have to press enter on our keyboard. For some reason, GenerateBlocks seems to make this disappear if you don't hit enter. So I'm going to hit enter a couple times there just to be safe. Now we'll go in here inside of our loop item, and we need to go ahead and add an image block. So here I'll just select an image block, and you can see it's querying in that options page because we have as many image blocks as we had images inside that loop. Now to bring in the image from our gallery, we need to go over here to our dynamic tags next to our image inside that settings panel. I'll go ahead and click on that. And here in the drop down, we're going to scroll down until we get to loop item. So that's the very last thing on this list is loop item. And then in here, we can type in our meta key. I'm going to go ahead and paste that in. That was still on my clipboard there. It's that same bike_photo_gallery. But at the end of it, I'm going to type in a period and then URL. That's because we're wanting to actually query in, we're wanting to loop in the URL of each one of these images. That's what's going to allow us to display these images. So I'll go ahead and hit add, and then we'll insert our dynamic tag. And just like that, it's querying in all the images from our photo gallery here. Obviously, we'll need to do some styling. We could go back onto our looper here and just maybe make it 3-column grid. We'll go in here inside the layout and we'll give it maybe 16 pixels of gap in between each one of the images. And then just to make sure they line up nicely, I'm going to go in here to the image and we'll go under sizing and we'll make this 100% and 100% just to make sure that they're all equal size. Now by default, GenerateBlocks is going to go ahead and make this set to object fit cover, which is what's keeping all these images from stretching. So let's go ahead and save this and we can go view it on the front end and we can see our gallery is working perfectly. Now, the nice thing about using this options page is we could put this same byte gallery on a bunch of different pages and posts on our website. But if we decided we didn't want this image anymore, all we have to do is go into the back end, into our photo gallery, and we'll find that image here. I'll just go ahead and delete that out. We'll hit update and we'll just go view this page on the front end again. And you can see that image is missing. We've taken it out of that photo gallery. So anywhere we're querying this specific photo gallery on the website, that image has been removed. The other nice thing about doing this options page is if we ever wanted to create a second photo gallery, let's say we wanted a photo gallery of hiking images, we can go in here into our field groups and then hit add new. And we'll call this hiking photo gallery. And here again, we're going to select gallery as our field type. Here we'll say hiking photo gallery, and we have that field name here, which I'm going to go ahead and copy to my clipboard. We're set to image array, and we can go back down here to our options page is equal to photo gallery. Now we'll go ahead and save those changes. And if we go back into our photo gallery here, you can see we have a second option here for a different photo gallery. Here we can go ahead and add to it. This looks like a hiking picture, maybe a couple of these. We'll go ahead and grab all of those and select them. Now we can go ahead and update that. And we'll just go back to the page we were working on. If we go here into all pages, even though we call this byte gallery, we can go in here and create a second loop. I'll just create a new section, a container. We'll give it a section default class. We'll go in here to our query loop again, query, start blank. We'll make sure that we're querying in the options page. Here we'll choose the hiking photo gallery and hit enter just to make sure that that locks in there. Pop open our list view again, and here inside of our loop item, we'll add our image. Then inside the dynamic options, we'll scroll to the bottom to loop item, paste in that meta key and do .url. Go ahead and add that. Insert the dynamic tag, and here we have a gallery of all of our hiking photos. So this is a really cool way to be able to manage all of your galleries inside GeneratePress and GenerateBlocks using ACF options pages. Now in Addison's video, he actually goes way more in depth, showing you how you can actually use that image array to bring in other attributes of your images, like the alt text, which is really handy when you're creating these kind of galleries. I've linked his video down in my description, so make sure to go check that out and give his channel some love. He does some really cool stuff, and this is part of a bigger ongoing series that he's been working on. If you enjoyed today's video, I would really appreciate a thumbs up, and if you want to make sure to catch the next one, hit subscribe, and we'll see you then.